Hi there, and it's me again, Audrina Lane. I'm just getting tired of saying that every time, but I like to introduce myself. And I'm here with you to read you the next chapter from my debut novel, Where Did Your Heart Go? And just to let you know that if you do want to read your own copy, it is available free to download from my website, www.audrinalane.co.uk, or you can help a poor writer out and buy a copy off Amazon. The ebook will only cost you 99p or 99¢, depending on where you are in the world. And also paperback copies are available to buy from there, or you can buy from me directly. Anyway, enough waffle and sales. Let's get on with chapter 47. Driving back from Hereford, I once again had the top down on my convertible and the music on loud. Today it was George Michael, as I sang along to all my favourite songs and enjoyed the happiness that the sun and my secret admirer had brought into my life. I was going to fire at the barbecue. It had hardly been touched over the last few years, but if today's weather didn't merit another evening in the garden, then it was a bad job. I'd bought some burgers, sausages, French bread and salad. Pulling into the driveway, I noticed the bike was not back yet, so I walked into the house and started to open the windows to let fresh air in. I changed into my shorts and was about to head out into the garden when the phone rang. I answered it, but after just the hint of someone breathing, the line went dead. Perhaps it was just a wrong number. Or maybe my secret admirer was turning into a stalker. Instead, I picked the phone back up again and gave Sarah a call, asking if she wanted to come over later with Chris. She agreed, and as I flitted through the kitchen, I put some music on and went out to discover what sort of mess the barbecue was in. "Mum, Mum," Charlie shouted as they found me scrubbing away at the grill. "Hi guys, thought I'd fire at the barbecue for tea. Sarah and Chris are coming over." "Cool," Charlie replied, grabbing some cold drinks. "We're just going to go and get changed and sunbathe in the garden after all our dancing," she said, pulling Mitch towards the hallway and stairs. As I started to assemble the food, the doorbell rang and I opened it to find Sarah and Chris. "Come in," I said, opening my arms for a hug from both of them. "Good to see you back in one piece," I said, engulfed in a tight hug from Chris. "Yes, it's great to be back. I'm thinking it might be time to consider retiring and finding a job closer to home," he said, glancing at Sarah and smiling. "Go on through. Drinks are in the fridge. Just help yourself as I'm about to light the barbecue." "Perhaps I'd better help with that," Chris offered. "I firmly believe that when it comes to alfresco cooking, men are better." I held up my hands in defeat. "Carry on, I'll bring the food out," I said, Sarah linking her arm through mine as we headed through to the kitchen. "Nice flowers," Sarah said, noticing the carnations on the table. "Yes, they're from my mystery man, but keep it quiet, I haven't said anything to Charlie yet." "Oh, so romantic," Sarah cooed. "But how does he know where you live?" "Yes, that's the only worrying bit, but I'm being careful and there is no sign of anyone lurking around," I told her, pouring wine before we strolled outside. "Auntie Ra," Charlie said, getting up off the blanket she was lying next to Mitchell on. "Uncle Chris too." "You're getting too grown up," Chris said, hugging her and waiting to be introduced to the young man who was standing a little way back. "Aunt Sarah, you remember Mitchell. Uncle Chris, this is Mitchell, my boyfriend," Charlie said proudly. The men shook hands and Mitchell said hi. I noticed Chris examining Mitchell, seeing a familiarity there that I'd noticed too. We enjoyed lively conversation as we all ate and drank, and then as dusk fell I went inside with Sarah and Chris to clear up. Mitch and Charlie helped and then disappeared to her bedroom, leaving the three of us alone. "So what's the plan for next weekend?" Sarah asked. "I booked us all into the Ibis Hotel, and I think we need to be leaving at around 7 in the morning, as the competition starts at 11. Better to be early." "Would you like me to drive?" Chris offered. "Oh, that would be brilliant, thanks," I replied. "I'm sure the traffic in London will scare me to death." "Good, that's sorted then. Really looking forward to seeing Charlie dance," Sarah said. "Yes. Charlie and Mitch are even dancing together in the interval before the results on the Sunday. I've seen the routine on camera. It will blow you away. I'm also meeting Mitch's dad, which should be interesting." I watched as a slight flicker of panic seemed to cross Sarah's face before she smiled. "We'd better be off now," she said, standing up. leaving me wondering what that was all about. Watching their car leave the driveway soon, I paused and scanned the surrounding area, but there was no sign of anyone else around as I turned and locked the door. James walked back across the garden after tea with his parents and took a moment to breathe in the cool night air and look at the sky. And once back in his house, he turned the radio on. He wondered what she was doing right now. Already in bed? Out with friends? He could only hope she might spare a thought for him. He turned the radio up and listened to the words of Waiting for a Star to Fall. Was she listening too? James sighed and thought of the time when this song was in the charts. It was that one perfect year of his life. With his eyes closed, he pictured Stephanie and the way she used to look up into his eyes. A mixture of innocence, pure love and trust, and then being together forever. He couldn't forget the way her hand felt in his, the way her skin turned pink when she blushed, the way her lips felt when they touched his. Somehow she had known then what he hadn't. He remembered how she'd begged him to stay when he made love to her for the final time. The sight of her scared and tear-stained face as he walked out of her life had haunted him. He wished now he'd been brave enough and stood his ground and not given her up. Looking up, he stared at his favourite picture of his boys together in the garden. What would have been the right thing to do? And strange coincidence enough, on the radio this morning as I was travelling into work, I listened to Waiting for a Star to Fall. Must be fate that I'm reading this chapter tonight to you. Anyway, hope you're still enjoying it. Please feel free to like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll catch you again next week. Bye for now.